Welcome back to the channel. We are going to be doing some creepy, disturbing, crazy, strange TikToks videos that we have found all across the internet. I hope you enjoy the video. And if you like, hit the subscribe, hit the like button so we can move in the algorithm. But we're going to get into a really good video and I'm excited. I hope you are excited just as I am. Here we go.
This video just captured something that has never been seen before.
This is crazy.
It's the first fault rupture ever recorded in history. It happened this March in Myanmar.
The sun is playing a big role in that. If y'all are keeping up with what the sun's doing, we're in that 9th rotation now with that corona hole. And me personally, I've got a lot of headaches, a lot of bad headaches, and my body just feels so worn down. I don't know about you all, but I am. But let me know your comments on that.
Human remains were discovered near Taylor Swift's Rhode Island mansion home, and now everyone wants to know, is this the work of a serial killer? This is the 13th time a body or remains have been discovered across Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island since March. 13 at least that internet sleuths are connecting to what they believe is a serial killer in the area. Authorities have gone out of their way to deny a link in these cases. Many, like this latest incident where what is believed to be a human leg bone, found in the posh coastal community of Westerly, Rhode Island, aren't even suspected of being murders. But the remains discovered on Wednesday just happened to be near a super famous home.
Probably a couple football fields away from Taylor Swift's house in the Ocean House. I would never expect anything like that.
So what do you guys think? Do you think there's a serial killer that's responsible for all of these bodies, or do you think it's just a coincidence? Let me know in the comments.
So according to CNN, apparently there's this huge mile-wide volcano under the West Coast Ocean that is supposed to be erupting sometime soon. Not only is it going to be erupting soon, but CNN is saying that it will cause at least 10,000 earthquakes along the coast. This is concerning the west coast of California, where the San Andreas Fault is. But you want to know why many people haven't even noticed? It's because they're not announcing this on the main screen. They're announcing the tariffs and they're announcing pharmaceutical prices coming down, every reason why people should hate Donald Trump. This is on their fine print. You know, the very small letters on the bottom of the screen that nobody ever reads, but that's typically where the real news is happening. Search it up and you will find that there is that fine print on the bottom of the screen of CNN News that is announcing those 10,000 earthquakes that are expected to arrive here soon, and it will be over all of the course of all of these months due to that volcano erupting under the Pacific Ocean.
December of last year, this past year, is when they first announced, scientists first announced that this was going to happen. And if you go back in November, that's when the orbs and stuff was coming from the ocean and all over the United States and stuff. And here they're doing it again. I've caught a lot of videos on it. But that sun, I'm telling you, I really strongly believe that that's playing a big role in this. Let me know what you think in the comments, but that's what I think's happening. And what we're about to see is probably something like we've never seen before. Blackouts, airplanes going down, all that stuff. Probably going to get a lot worse. Now, fear-mongering, and this is for entertainment purposes only, but you know, follow the trail, you know.
Our sun today for May 15th, 2025. Welcome to another surviving day on the planet. No new solar flares since yesterday's events. 3 M-class solar flares, 2 X-class solar flares. Sun furiously waking up. Closer look here at the solar flares and as well the plasma filament that we're going to be keeping an eye on, as that could snap away and destabilize, slap back to the surface of the sun, or fly out towards Earth. Amazing images here, brought to you by Solar Dynamics Observatory, mixed with daily events worldwide. Thank you so much for present play. Completely radiated yesterday.
There's that corona hole that it's pointing at right now. And that's getting ready to come into our path right now. Between now and tomorrow, I think. And they linked this all the way back to the 1970s, since we started watching the sun, that earthquakes and other things that happen here on Earth have a lot to do with these corona holes and all these sun flares and all that. And it's getting ready to happen. And this is the 9th rotation and the 9th number, if you know anything about the number 9. Just think about it. And the 27th of May has been brought up a lot on a lot of these videos lately, so who knows?
Level 3 strong radio
Getting
blackout
crazy.
impacts. Now we're expecting this large coronal hole for the Earth-facing party all week long. This big beast of a coronal hole will be facing Earth, increasing our solar winds over 500, 800 kilometers per second. Right now, they're about 400 kilometers per second. Here's a look at the coronal hole wind stream forecast and predicted here for tomorrow night and into the 17th. Stay safe and healthy, aware and prepared. Bye-bye now.
Okay, so just a couple of days ago, the power grid went out in Spain, Portugal, and some parts of France. It affected over 10 million people. We're talking about power outage, cell phones don't work, traffic lights don't work, ATMs don't work. People were stuck in trains and elevators. Now this week, mind you, they were like, we don't know exactly what happened. We're still investigating. Now they're talking about it's a 1,000-pound former Soviet spacecraft that went into space in March of 1972 that was supposed to go to Venus, but something went wrong, and now it's orbiting Earth, and they're saying it's supposed to come back and enter Earth's atmosphere within the next couple of days.
It already came back. This is an older video, but she's still talking about some things that are about to happen. But that already came back and it hit in the Indian Ocean, supposedly. So,
And they say it might hit a populated area because they don't know where it's going to land. How is this happening, guys? Did y'all know about this? Because according to EarthSky.org, People magazine, they're stating that this thing has been in Earth's orbit since 1972. It was supposed to go to Venus, but they had an issue with the timer, which cut an engine burn prematurely, which left the spacecraft stuck in Earth's orbit. All of a sudden, though, now it's supposed to come back between May 8th and May 11th. They actually have dates. Why aren't people talking about this more? Nevertheless, they're stating that this thing's supposed to be going at 150 miles per hour, and allegedly it's going to hit the water because Earth is mostly covered by water. But they're saying if it hits land, it could be absolutely catastrophic, especially for populated areas. It weighs over 1,000 pounds and is going over 150 miles per hour. I don't know what's going to happen, but this is giving very much don't look up. I don't know what else to come. Whatever other updates do come out, because it seems like they're trying to suppress this, I don't know what's what. I always say go do your research, can't confirm or deny. Save this, go look into it, come back, let me know your thoughts in the comments, share this so that we can keep this discussion going. But I'll be back with more updates if they pop up. Like, follow, stay for some more tea. I appreciate y'all support. Bye.
yeah, I have to wonder if that's really what came back in because it's awful weird all this stuff's happening all around the same time. This is crazy.
What if something actually happened in 2012 and you just don't know about
I've been saying this ever since, I'm telling you.
it? So I've recently been doing some traveling and I've gotten in touch with some individuals, specifically scientists. Two specific scientists, I'm not going to list their names out to the public. They have requested that their names not be revealed. But they used to work for CERN, okay? And this is where things get really interesting. They used to work at a place called Fermilab back in 2012. They were specifically part of the series of Minos experiments, okay? And they were actually part of the last Minos experiment that took place in 2016. Now, they were actually there when the LHC announced the first discovery of a Higgs-like particle back in 2012. Now, this is where things get interesting because they stated that they worked with somebody named Eliezer Rabinovici. Now, have you ever wondered to yourself, who owns CERN, right? Who runs CERN? Who's the CEO, etc., etc.? Well, here's the interesting thing, right? The CERN Council is actually the highest decision-making body for CERN. They're responsible for the administration's scientific, technical, and administrative matters. So they're actually making the decisions for CERN, okay? And here's a really interesting part about this is because Rabinovici himself was actually president of the CERN Council from 2022 up until now where they chose a new president. Rabinovici is an Israeli physicist. That should tell you enough. But this is where things get really fucking interesting, okay? Because they just unloaded a whole shitload of information on us. A group that I'm working with is trying to get them on a podcast, but they don't want their faces to be shown. So I'm trying to do everything that I can to get them to just air out everything that they possibly can about this shit. Obviously in a nonchalant manner of which they don't have to show their faces. But they told us some crazy ass shit. For example, one of them actually brought up the anomaly that appeared over Mexico last year. I'm sure you remember seeing it. If you didn't, you can go look up what it looks like. All you have to do is look up Mexico anomaly. You'll see it right there. Now look at where it appeared in Mexico, near Jalisco, Mexico, right? Well, the Minos experiment was shut down, dismantled, and removed. And then it was moved to Jalisco, Mexico. Now tell me, okay, when did Biden announce that he was stepping down from being a presidential candidate? And then when did that thing appear? Now all you really have to do is just take a look at that anomaly and then take a look at CERN's LHC. I mean, but here's the interesting thing, right? Because back in 2012, they said while they were actually conducting the Minos experiment, that it appeared in 2012 as well. And I'm sure you're familiar with the rumors of the Mayan calendar back in 2012. Let's just say that they confirmed something that I've been wondering about for many, many years now, okay? And I'm not even entirely sure that I can say it on TikTok, but let's just say it has to do with timelines. Some crazy shit, so you can obviously understand why I'm trying to expose this out to the public and why I'm trying to get them to do it themselves. This would be huge. This would confirm so much fucking shit that people need to know about. So I'm personally going to do a little bit of digging. I might do a deeper dive on X instead. There's just some shit that you can't unfortunately talk about here on TikTok. But I had to share this with everybody because this is absolutely fucking insane.
If you know, you know, right? Don't go anywhere. We got some really good videos coming up. Stay tuned.
Yeah, see that?
So a little white thing right there in the middle of the screen.
Several more today from here in the United States. Here's the object that Jennifer was watching in the sky. She had her husband's phone on a tripod as this thing was just mysteriously hanging out in the sky, not making any noise, not blinking, and wasn't moving.
Did you see that?
Watch what happens.
What's it?
Did you see
It looks
that?
like it's shooting something down, doesn't
The
it?
pulse just came from the primary light here and sent a pulse of secondary lights towards the ground.
What do you guys think
Almost
about
like
that
some
one?
sort of an EMP. And you heard Jennifer react when she saw it. She was quite surprised. So this next segment, I put it in fast forward. The object, again, was remaining stationary in the sky, wasn't moving, wasn't making any sound until it did this again. Check this out. An even bigger one. Here's the original vertical video. Look at that.
See? What in the heck?
Are you serious right now?
What is that,
Sending
man?
some sort of pulses of light towards the ground.
What in the heck?
She was very taken back by this. I would have been too.
Yeah, I think I'm going in. I'm getting a little nervous now.
And you heard what she said. She was going inside. In fact, both of the videos you're about to see, I just received within the last 24 hours. Starting off in Manchester, United Kingdom, AMG May 2025. Here we go. He was filming the daytime sky when he saw an airplane off in the distance. Check this out as we zoom in closer, and then we're going to go in even closer than what we see right now. You see what appears to be a commercial airplane being chased by a black unknown object. Are you serious right now? If we
What is
could
that?
get within 100 feet of the airplane, this is probably what we would see, something like that right there. But we're going to go in as close as we can. Keep in mind, he was several thousand feet away from the action. He zoomed in, and then I zoomed in even closer. Check that out. Talk about mysterious. That's literally a UFO chasing a
I would get excited if I saw something like that. What about you?
commercial airplane through the daytime sky. Now we're going to zoom in even closer, as I mentioned. Here we go. Let me pause it right there. This isn't an airplane. This doesn't have wings. This looks like a solid black object within just a couple of 100 feet of that commercial aircraft.
Weird.
Are you serious right now? You can't make this stuff up. What an excellent observation, once again, by AMG out of Manchester, United Kingdom. Seriously, what is going on in the skies above the earth? Okay, let me pause it right here, go in for another look. And again, it was just far enough away to where we couldn't make out any type of details, even if there were any to make out. Here I modified a couple of segments of the video. All I did was adjust the lighting and color. I was indeed trying to pull forward any possible features, and there didn't appear to be any. This thing appeared to be some sort of a round craft with no wings. How it was moving, your guess is as good as mine. More than likely some sort of an anti-gravity type of a craft. But at times you can see what looks like something coming out the backside of this craft. Right there was a pretty decent view of it up close. That was about as close as I could get without becoming too overly pixelated. I don't know if those lines that we see through the center are a side effect of pixelation or if that was actually on the craft itself. But as you can see, it was a solid black craft. Had no wings, had
Pretty
no
cool.
tail fin. Going from Manchester, United Kingdom, down to Cape Town, South Africa. This video was taken this morning by Desiree R. 5/14 of 2025. Check this out. This is the original vertical video in original format. I haven't done anything to this video, but what we're going to do is zoom in super close, and you guys are going to see what looks like a bright white triangle in the sky this morning with some sort of an energy field around it. Check that out. perfect triangle in the early morning sky. Visible from Cape Town, South Africa by Desiree. What an incredible catch. These are just different formats. Light is dark, dark is light. Here's another one. Light is dark, dark is light. And you can clearly see what looked like a triangle craft in the early morning sky above Cape Town, South Africa.
I really have a feeling that we're going to be seeing a lot more of this and a bigger uptick coming very, very soon. You may be able to see it yourself if you're outside looking for them. It's going to be wild.
Breaking news today, the Trump administration rolling back protections that were meant to keep forever chemicals out of your tap water. These toxic chemicals known as PFAS don't break down. They actually build up over time, and they've been linked to cancer, liver damage, reproductive issues, developmental problems in children. It's a national issue, but North Carolina is ground zero. More than 3 million people here have water contaminated with those chemicals. A recent test show over 300 public drinking water systems in the state have levels above the current federal limits. The EPA rule was finalized just last year, and it was supposed to require water systems to clean this up by 2029. Now that deadline is being pushed to 2031.
I don't know why this would surprise anybody. I really don't.
And the agency is scrapping limits for 4 of the 6 chemicals, including Genex, which has polluted the Cape Fear River. Genex came from the Chemours plant in Fayetteville, formerly run by its parent company, DuPont, and they dumped these chemicals into the river for decades. Tens of thousands of private wells are already contaminated, and regulators say they still haven't found the edge of that contamination. Some utilities, though, say they do need more time and support to comply with these standards, but the move is part of a larger shift by the Trump administration to roll back environmental regulations. Lee Zeldin is the new head of the EPA, and during his Senate confirmation hearing, he said that PFAS would be a top priority. Trump also promised that his administration would deliver the cleanest air and water, but critics say this rollback does the opposite.
I don't see how you could blame Trump or whatever, because this has been going on both sides. I get that each one says that they're going to do this or do that before they get elected. Then when they get elected, they all go back on it. But it ain't just one person. It ain't just one side. It's on both sides, the whole entire board. They all know, and they're all doing the same things. Sometimes I wonder who's really in charge. A lot goes through my head. Man, it's a long discussion. Give me your thoughts on all this stuff, because I've got tons of stuff to go through my head.
Allowing polluters to keep dumping chemicals and letting them stay in our tap water. The Environmental Working Group is an advocacy organization and called it a public health betrayal. So what do you think of this move? And what do you want to ask state and federal regulators about PFAS in your water? Let me know in the comments.
This week, New York State bans laundry detergents Arm & Hammer, Tide, and Gain for recently testing above the new legal limit for a probable carcinogen called 1,4-dioxane. The CDC states that it can be harmful to the eyes, skin, lungs, kidneys, and can even cause cancer. Now, the thing is, the synthetic chemical is still in laundry detergents, but the ones that were banned tested above the new legal limit. In doing this research, I found terrifying information that this chemical is found in the tap water.
All right.
We found spots on ourselves. I've been finding a lot of dots on myself. We use Gain, and this happens to us, and our little boy breaks out a lot. And now we are trying to link it to this, and we think that's what it is. So we're going to try to switch. Maybe you should do the same if you're having those problems. I don't know. Give me your thoughts.
So I wasn't sure I was going to share this because my goal on here is to never strike fear. My goal on here is to bring communities together, start conversations, learn from one another, respect one another. But I feel like it's time that I share this story. Well, it's not a story. It's coming from the source and facts. But one of my very dear friends who I've kind of talked about on here before, who has shared some very important things that I've shared with all of you. He's a scientist. I shouldn't have said he, but yes, he's a scientist. He works with seismic activity. He works with a lot of different things that are in the science industry. I don't have to go in because I don't really want to tell too much about it. But he reached out to me about 2 weeks ago and was like, hey, my team and I have been tracking some seismic activity, and I think you should talk to your TikTok followers about this. So I didn't think I was going to do it because, you know, I don't want to strike fear, and that's not my purpose. But now what I'm about to tell you is showing up on the news, like CNN, and also news reports out of London. and Australia and all over the entire world that in the coming months, there's predicted a mile-wide volcano that is in the Pacific Ocean that is expected to go off in the next coming months. Now, when he reached out to me, they have predicted it's going to be on June 5th. And this volcano that is potentially about to erupt will trigger over 10,000 earthquakes all over the entire globe in one day.
Think about that. He just said one day, 10,000 earthquakes. One day. You can call it fear mongering or whatever, but it's best that we prepare for things like this the best we can. Maybe not be so scared because there's not much we can do about it, but just imagine if those earthquakes are greater than 4 or greater than 5, every one of them, and then some of them max out at the 10 scale or even higher, and land starts moving like it's been moving, just like that video we seen at the beginning. Just imagine sitting here and you're watching your neighbor just slide down the road. That's what you're talking about. That's crazy. Just thinking about it's crazy.
Now, I don't know what else to do with this information, but he was very adamant that perhaps I should share this information with the people who follow me. Now, I don't know if you've seen the news reports. I saw the one on CNN, and the crazy thing is it was just a scrolling bar at the bottom, not even a main story. And I don't understand why 10,000 earthquakes happening in one day and a mile-wide volcano going off in the ocean is not a headline story.
Exactly. And that's the problem that I'm seeing with it. They're not even talking about it. They don't even make a big deal about it. And they should be. At least letting us know that, hey, this is possible. You know, prepare the best you can. We're not saying that it's definitely going to happen, but it's something that could happen. And with this sun doing its 9th rotation and those coming in our zone, in the Earth's path, I'm telling you, things might get a little ugly. They might, just might. And if you like this video, please make sure you hit the like button. I'm not getting very many likes on the videos. I'm getting watch hours and stuff like that. Please help us out. Subscribe, because we are trying our hardest to bring you decent videos to watch. And I don't want to keep too much of your time, but let's get to the next one.
So, let me know.
Wait. So you mean to tell me the reason why we can't go to Antarctica, because it's another me over there? And we're not supposed to cross paths? So you telling me it's another you over there? And as I was stating, we're not supposed to cross paths, or it's going to mess up something in the universe or something?
Think about that. Now, I caught this video yesterday, and something that came to my head was, what if, because all of our governments went down there after the World War, they all went down there, they met down there for some odd reason, and then they signed a treaty right after that. What if there's an experimental thing going on down there of messing with our DNA or whatever? What if we're messing with stuff we should be messing with and they don't want us to know and they're keeping us separated from it in that extra land? Or, I don't know. I mean, what if there's a duplicate of everything on the other side of that? I don't know. The possibilities are endless. Let your mind open.
So this lady right here is all over TikTok right now. Her name is Anna Wick Epstein. And she said she's Jeffrey Epstein's niece. And she's claiming that she's Shia LaBeouf's twin sister. I never heard this before. Have y'all? This news to me. Same age, same DNA. That's what she's claiming. She said when she was young, she was born into a child T cult. You know I can't say the word, but y'all know what I'm talking about. He said they were raised in silence. And now she's coming out risking her life because she said she finna expose it all. So she got some videos of her crying, breaking down, talking about the government is watching her and that she's been cloned, y'all. She said at this point, nobody is trying to really listen to what she's saying. So she took it upon herself to make hella videos. So y'all can check out her videos. And she also says she got so much evidence that if she exposes it, a lot of powerful elites are going to be taken down. She said the media is silent about it, but they know. Look, I don't know what's true or what's cap. I don't know if this a cry out for help. But what I do know is when you start talking about Hollywood elites and exposing shit, some dark, twisted shit always seem to happen. So y'all let me know down below in the comments. Do you think she got some truth to what she's saying? Or do you think she losing her mind? Let me know.
What do y'all think about that one? It's a little mind-blowing, and it's very possible. Let me know what you think, though. I'll keep mine to myself this time, just this one time.
We've got another clip here from our Richard Doty interview a couple of weeks ago where we asked him about Antarctica. Now, he tried to get out of answering it, and we allowed him to answer one more question, and then I just took him straight back to it, and he did give us an answer then. And if this is true, it's quite explosive information. Check this out.
I want to say how I want to say this because I don't want you to interpret it as being let me
bear in
hold off
mind,
on
I'm going to
that
meet
right
you in
away.
October. I'm going to be
Because
seeing you in October.
Yeah, I don't want to say something that I think might be classified. So let me hold off, and I'll have to think about this and do some research. I'm sorry, I don't want to delve into something that could very well be classified.
Don't worry, guys. I'll bring him straight back to that question after he answers one more question.
Yeah, we are going to meet you in Manchester in October, you know that, don't you? We're going to have a few beers, and when we drink, you're going to tell us everything, Richard.
Yes. Can I just budge in for a second? I just want to ask one: are we currently being monitored right now? And are UFO channels like ourselves and the way that we talk about are we being used as a point for gathering intel for people? And two, do you reckon that the history narrative we've been given throughout our lives isn't actually the true history? Do you think there's an alternative history that is being pushed under the rug or shoved away?
Yeah. No, I don't believe in that. I don't believe anything like that. I think we're living now. We're living a life, and this is reality. I personally don't believe in that. I know there are a lot of people out there that think that way, and they have the reasons for it, but I don't think that way.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I'm coming back to the Antarctica thing now. You've had a moment to think. Have you got anything you can share with that?
Okay, let me say this. What I know about Antarctica, there was 2 weapons tested down there. One was we tested them. I'm not going to say when or anything other than we tested 2 energy directed weapon systems. One was called the Zeus, and Linda Howell it talks about this. Zeus, the goddess, the Zeus. And it caused a massive cavern to open under Antarctica. A massive. I don't know how big, and when that opened, we found a lot of things.
Say so.
So I'll just leave it at that.
I want to hear so much more of this. Man, it's really irritating me.
And we can never be sure with Richard Doty whether he's telling us the truth or he's lying. That's the beauty of Richard Doty, right? I think everybody needs to have that discussion with Richard Doty and just enjoy him for what he is. But if this is true, what was in that cavern? What did they open up, and did they fuck up in the process?
I want to have a conversation in the comments, and I hope that you are watching this video and you comment in the comments of what you thought or think they may have saw or discovered if that happened in this cavern that they created. I am really interested in what everybody's thoughts are on this one. And man, I could name a million things. Woo! See, he drank the last time he was there in Saudi Arabia. This time? Watch. Says no thank you. He even looked down at it. What do you make of this? Like the Saudi was looking down at his cup too. He got rid of it. He said, I'm not touching this. I'm gonna pause it. This is happening all over the place right now.
A strong earthquake measuring 6.3 on the Richter scale struck off the southern coast of Crete in Greece on Wednesday, sending tremors across the eastern Mediterranean and triggering a brief tsunami alert. The quake, reported by the German Research Center for Geosciences, that is the GFZ, occurred at a depth of 83 kilometers, making it a deep but widely felt seismic event. The shaking was not limited to Greece, though. Residents in Egypt, including those in Cairo, reported feeling the tremors, though no injuries or structural damage have been reported so far. Egypt's National Research Institute of Astronomy and Geophysics recorded a slightly stronger reading of 6.4 magnitude and said the epicenter was located 431 kilometers off the country's northern coastline. Tremors were also reported in Israel, Lebanon, Turkey, and Jordan, underscoring the broad reach of the quake's impact. Shortly after the quake, Greek authorities issued an emergency directive warning of a potential tsunami. The warning said, a risk of possible tsunami in your area, move away from the coast immediately. Follow the instructions of local authorities. The alert was precautionary and no tsunami waves have been reported as of now. The real-time earthquake monitoring website Volcano Discovery received thousands of reports of ground shaking from across the region. Many described the tremor as a sudden, intense jolt that lasted several seconds. While alarming, it appears the quake did not cause any serious damage yet, and both Greek and Egyptian officials continue to assess the situation. For context, Greece is no stranger to seismic activity. Sitting on multiple fault lines, it is one of Europe's most earthquake-prone regions. According to the Seismology Laboratory at the University of Athens, over 18,400 mostly minor earthquakes
Sounds like they're trying to downplay this.
were recorded between the 26th of January and the 13th of February this year, especially around the Cyclades archipelago. Though Wednesday's earthquake was far more powerful than the typical tremors recorded in recent months, its depth likely helped minimize the surface level destruction. Still, the event serves as a reminder of the region's vulnerability to seismic shifts and the need for continued vigilance. As of now, no injuries or major structural damage have been confirmed, and the initial tsunami risk appears to have passed. Authorities remain on alert for possible aftershocks in the coming hours and days.
They keep downplaying these and people ain't going to take it serious, and something big's going to happen and people just ain't going to be ready. And it's going to cause panic and a lot of other issues. But I've also noticed that we have an uptick in the severe storms lately too. And it's going to continue for the next week or so, and that's how long this sun is going to be facing us with that coronal hole and the sunspot. Just watch it close. Give me your thoughts. I feel like they downplayed that. I really do. I feel like something's coming. I really do. Can't help but feel this way. It's headaches, body aches. Did y'all notice that if you think back, that a lot of this started with the marine life coming to the shores? You remember that? It was like they was trying to escape the waters, trying to tell us something was coming. And now here we are looking at the waters, and we're having problems on land too.
The West Coast underwater volcano, the axial seamount, been triggering up to 1,000 quakes a day. Stuart Bathwater says this isn't pressure building, it's a lock releasing. He told me this isn't a volcano at all. It's a fail-safe vault, part of an ancient system buried miles beneath the Pacific. Stuart said when the floor rises, the countdown's begun. He's convinced this isn't natural, it's timed, connected to alignments off the coast of Alaska, even down to Easter Island. Stuart didn't say it's going to erupt. He said the moment the water starts to boil cold, it signals a global recalibration. If he's right, this isn't just geological, it's intentional. With species like the black angler devilfish resurfacing. If you want to know what's really coming to the surface next, leave me a comment. I'll ask Stuart.
So, I just read an article yesterday that said scientists have predicted when they think the Earth will be uninhabitable. And the year is 1,000,000,2021. And you know what? I can almost guarantee that my order from China still won't have arrived by then. But did you guys see this? It was floating around the internet all day yesterday. Any social media app I opened, there it was. Scientists have discovered when the world will be inhabitable. Which I don't really fully understand how they can predict something so far in the future. But then again, I'm not a scientist.
How can any of us say that they're wrong, right? None of us are going to be around that time.
But I thought that was very interesting that the year 1,000,000,2021 is the year that they say it will be inhabitable, or that's what they predict. Now, did you guys see this? What do you think of that? What would the Earth even look like in 1,000,000,000 years?
Well, no.
That's some Terminator, some Back to the Future Terminator stuff going on right there. But did you guys see this? I think it's hilarious. Let me know.
With the way the sun's acting right now, we'd be lucky if we make it that far, but I don't think we're in the right year that they claim that we're in anyways. I still think there's a lot being hidden from us, and I'm sure that a lot of you believe the same thing. We'll get more into that as we go. What? But I think we're starting to see a lot that we're not supposed to see. But I think it's time for the veil to be lifted and for us to be able to see it.
Interesting things happening in the world right now. There was a rare golden penguin that was found recently that had bright yellow feathers instead of black and white. A 99-year-old woman wanted to experience jail before she passed away, so the police made it happen. A cafe in Japan is actively hiring.
Why would you want to see what jail is like? I don't want to see. I feel like I'm in jail every day. Damn.
Paralyzed people to remotely control robot servers. One man named Michael has been building tree houses for over 30 years and has created the world's largest concentration of tree houses. His resort is fully equipped with electricity, air conditioning, heating, and everything. A group of best friends built a tiny town so that they can all grow old together. 600 men showed up to mentor students in Dallas. When they only asked for 50, Luxembourg has become the first country in the world to officially grant public transportation to everybody for free. We have found 128 new moons around Saturn. This means that we know Saturn has at least 274 moons, which beats Jupiter to have the most moons in our solar system.
274 moons. We have made it to the end of the video with that fascinating news. Could you imagine how many moons, how it would feel to have that many moons here around Earth? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you liked the video. Yeah, I hope I hear from you in the comments. There's a lot of fascinating things going on, and we got another video coming really soon, so I'm sure you don't want to miss it. Trust me. I've seen some of the content that my wife's got going for us. But I hope you all enjoyed the video. But I'm going to go ahead and hop off here. I hope you have a good one. Thank you.